Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Aeris webinar about our medical infection control unit. We're going to give other people another 3 minutes or so to get in, to log in, make sure everybody finds the link, and then we'll start the session. All right, we're waiting for another 1 or 2 minutes, and then the show is going to start. Give us a second.
Hi guys, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to our webinar on our new medical infection control unit. We're here in Switzerland and we're happy that you're joining us. I'm Pierre.
And I'm Konstantin, and we are the co-founder of Aeris.
Now, actually, before going into explaining to you our new unit that we have here in the middle, I just want to tell you a bit more why we started this company and how we came to this idea of building products like this. So everything started with our personal experience that we made back in 2012, where we had an exchange program that we participated in. We went to China, lived in Beijing for 8 months, and during that stay, we actually experienced really bad air pollution ourselves. So we would wake up in the morning with a really sore throat, couldn't see 2 blocks far away, and that experience stuck with us. Now, over the course of the next years, so from 2012 to 15, we ping-ponged ideas on how to create healthy indoor air spaces. So how can we make sure that our indoor spaces are clean and that we breathe good Swiss alpine air. Now, later on, we actually noticed in the course of the development, we realized that it's not only situations where your outdoor air quality is bad and you want to have healthy indoor spaces. Actually, indoor spaces themselves, if not properly purified, can also be pretty dangerous. So the WHO has shown that in certain cases, indoor spaces can be up to 5 times more polluted than outside. And that was, really shocking to us, and so we really wanted to dive into this field of creating air purifiers that could create healthy spaces and that let you be healthy, because at the end of the day, air pollution affects your cardiovascular system, it affects your mental well-being, and also your mental capabilities.
So, like Pierre said, air really affects us. And there are a lot of companies on this market that bring a lot of products onto it. So you've known the big players, the Philips, the Dysons, and a bunch of others are out there. And I want to lose a few words of what sets us apart from these companies. So Pierre and I were both engineers at heart and actually have an MIT background. And from the get-go, our company was founded around engineering. And what makes an air purifier special, what's the core component of an air purifier, is of course the filter. So from day one, we actually tried to dive into this technology and see where can we modify it, where can we improve it. So we've been engineering our own materials and our own production technology so that we can create filters that have a super high efficiency, but at the same time only create a very low pressure drop, which means a lot of air can cycle through our devices, which is very, very important for real world scenarios. So like Pierre said, air affects us, and the recent COVID-19 outbreak actually has shown us that there are people among us that are much more prone to risk than others. And those people are frontline medical personnel and dentists especially. And exactly for this group, we have packed up all the past 5 years, all the engineering, all the developments that we've did that you see on the table behind us, and we've packed it into this brand new unit, the medical infection control unit. And now, without further ado, because we know that that's kind of what you guys tuned in for, we're going to go through the features and explain them to you.
All right, so we'll actually start with the most common feature that you can see here, the suction tube that actually you can move to your working area. So when you're doing an oral intervention, you can actually place it right in front, or I would say 2 feet apart from your patient's face. And what happens is that this screw here will create an air pocket from which it's withdrawing all the micro droplets that are created during the intervention. And we'll show you how this looks like if you use smoke, white smoke, to visualize the micro droplets. As you can see, there's a pretty strong suction, and we're actually pulling in air with a total air volume of up to 440 cubic meters per hour, which is equivalent to 260 cubic feet per minute. And that's really what is important here to see. And what's also important to notice is that we've designed it in a way that it doesn't interfere with your work area, so you can easily see what's going on with your patient, and you've got enough space to work around. The other neat feature is that we've added casters so that you can move the device in your clinic from one room to the other. So that lets you basically run multiple operations and also use it wherever it's urgently required.
All right, so casters and hose aside, what did I talk about before? The filter. And what I want to show you is how easy it is to reach the filter in case you need to replace it. It's like all our devices, you simply lift off the top. It has a magnetic hold, and then the core of this device is this filter that we've developed. And actually, when we start here, you see this white filter area. And what this white filter area does, it filters up to 99.995% of all viruses, bacteria, microdroplets, down to the size of 0.003 microns. And they all get stuck in here. And we're going to show you a filter curve that we performed, a measurement curve that we performed on this filter in order to understand how this technology really works. So give us a second. We're pulling it up right now. 1 second. Some technical difficulties. That's to be expected. All right, so don't be afraid, even though it looks a bit frightening here. What we call this, from an engineering standpoint of view, is a black screen. 1 second, go out of full screen. There we go. So we called it an inverted Gauss curve. And what this means is that these filters actually have a particle size where they're least efficient. And this particle size on this filter is around about 0.3 microns. And at this worst particle size, our efficiency is well above 99.95%, as you can see in the center. And then everything that's smaller, like viruses and bacteria, they're around 0.01 size. It's actually much closer to 100% efficiency. So even though we have this crazy, even though we have this crazy efficiency and we capture all these particles, we, on top of that, coated this white material, and it is possible for us with this coating to not only capture viruses and bacteria, but also to deactivate them. And we have a graph for that as well, which should be showing up. So before the graph shows up, I'll explain it. We tested this filter material against the current coronavirus. And what it shows that if the virus sits on the material, it is to 95% deactivated after 2 hours. What this means is, and why this is important, is that nothing can grow on our filter. There are a lot of rumors on the internet that HEPA filters may be great at capturing things, but then things can fester, mold, bacteria, etc. can grow in these filters. But what we see over the course of 2 hours, we already deactivate 95%. If the time goes on, we'll drop to 0. So nothing can really grow here. Now, even though we have this incredible efficiency, this device, like it's standing here, will actually turn the air up to 11 times in a standard operatory room. So that's taking an estimate of around 250 square feet or 20 square meters on a 8.8 feet ceiling, or a 2.4 meter. Now, on top of that, instead of only having the air flow through this suction hose into the filter, we've created a drawer, which Pierre can open, that you can pull out. So in between patients, when you're not in an intervention, you can use this unit as a standard standalone air purifier that now cycles the air directly from the bottom, has a wider suction area, and then disperses it into the room. So you can clean your room in between patients very easily, very comfortably. And as soon as you go back to an intervention, you just shut the drawer by using your feet or your hand. So Pierre can demonstrate this. Boom, and you're right back to the suction on the suction arm.
And important, when you open this drawer, you're actually increasing the overall airflow. You're going to 11 air changes per hour, and even more if your operatory room is a bit smaller. Now, one very important feature that I want to mention here is our plasma unit. Our plasma unit is installed in the top of this device, so really in this part here. And what it does is it will seed the air that is coming out of here, of this device, that has been purified with plasma. So the positive, negative, small ions that then will create radicals that can float around the room and really attach to bacteria and viruses on surfaces. So it will then attack those bacteria and viruses that are not floating in micro droplets, but really that have been settled on surfaces, on your operatory tools, and it will deactivate them on those surfaces. Now, this is exciting because it helps you to also disinfect your room, your tools, outside of just the disinfection that you're making between patients. And I think on top of that, maybe you can also mention what we've done with our surface on the device.
Exactly.
That's also quite exciting.
So this is actually a great way to shift over now. We have a little handheld camera, which we're going to try to use, so you can see details of the device and actually how to use it. But like Pierre mentioned, actually everything that's white here and also the black foot it has been treated with the same coating as our filter. So that means nothing can grow or fester on these on these surfaces. So again, if a virus or bacteria lands here, or lands inside the black box, it'll be deactivated within hours. Now, one important thing for us is always a super simple user interface. So I switch the device off, and now if I switch it on, you will see a little A, the sun is shining right onto it, I'm very sorry, and you will see a reading of AQI. The AQI stands for Air Quality Index. The machine takes a second to boot up, and now it'll give us a reading of 2, for example. We're very fortunate, we're here in Switzerland, we have a lot of air purifiers running, so 1 and 2 is excellent. The lower the number of the AQI, it's actually the better your air quality is. Meaning that as long as your air quality is below 20, 25, you have excellent air quality. How do we control the device? It's super simple. It has an automatic mode where it purifies the air according to the air quality. And then if you really want to activate the suction arm, you can increase the speed. Speed 6 is the fastest. And the machine will boot up and create a very strong suction on the suction hose. Now, one question we get asked all the time, how loud is this unit really? And we've been testing it with a lot of dentists out there, and they have become so used to it. And dentists in general often have suction tools already that are placed in the mouth of a patient. And in the background noise, this machine basically disappears even on the highest setting. So it's super quiet. On the max setting, it's 58 dB, which is actually quite below the usual suction tools that you hear in the normal operatory system. But then you also saw that the display shows us connected every now and then. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, but every now and then you see a word connected, and Pierre is going to tell you a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, sure. So all of our devices are Wi-Fi connectable. We've actually connected some of our devices already, and we'll show you a screen of our app. It will take a couple seconds to start up. You can download the app on the native app store, so iOS and also Android store, and it's free. It comes with every device. Now, this is our summary page. So this is when I've opened the app and already set up an account and installed a couple of devices. You will see the outdoor air quality that is on the top, that is telling you the outdoor air quality that's being retrieved from the nearest outdoor station. So actually pretty good air quality around us. And you see we've already set up the air medical infection control unit and the Aeris air light behind us. And now if I tap onto one of the devices, I will land into my control screen. On the control screen, I have pretty much the same features as I have on my control panel on the device. I can set my device in any mode I want, sleep, manual, or smart, and I can do that from anywhere in the world. The second important feature of the app is our air quality graphs, or basically the analytics section that gives you the air quality over time, how it has been developing outside versus inside. And then the last feature that I think is quite interesting for you as well is our program mode, where you can set different programs on your device. You can tell the device when you're at work and when you're outside of work, reducing the overall consumption, energy consumption of the device, making sure that it runs really at the top of its mode when you're working. Now, this has been about the app. Maybe you can tell a bit more about how to get the device and how much it costs.
So we'll switch back to the main screen. There we are again. So first of all, the app obviously comes free with any of the devices. There's no software fee, etc. And I think the most important question that we haven't answered so far is, what's the price? So we're incredibly happy to announce that in the US, this unit will be selling at $2,499 US, landed in your clinic, dorm, wherever, and that is including tax and shipping. So this is basically it. We try to keep it as short and precise as possible. The units, another important thing to mention, will be shipping mid-July. So in the second week of July, you could be receiving one of these shortly after. And now we want to have a Q&A session. So if you're familiar with Zoom, you see a Q&A button on the bottom. And we would love for you to have some questions or ask some questions. We planned in hours of time on our side. So feel free, everything you think we left out or you have questions about. So we're going to pull it up.
Okay, so cleaning procedures. We'll tell you a bit about the cleaning procedures that are easy. I mean, obviously, you better wipe down the hood in here after every operation. And then the suction tube funnel that you see here, we usually send every device with a second arm. So every package that you buy, every product that you buy has two arms. And the reason behind that is that you can send in the arm. We usually suggest you to send in the arm every 4 months to your distributor or to our partner. We have dedicated partners throughout the world that will help us clean the arm, and in between you can use the second arm. So that's about the arm. The device itself is, as Konstantin mentioned, is coated with an antibacterial, antiviral coating. So that means it really doesn't need too much cleaning. But if you want to clean it, we suggest you to let it rest for at least 6 hours, turn it around, take away the jar, clean out the inside of the box down here, and also the same for the unit. You can take out the filter and you can wipe down the interior.
Yep. The follow-up question that was asked, does the cleaning damage the coating? No. The coating is actually embedded into the material, and in the case of the box, it's embedded into the paint. So we do suggest that you do not use any sharp objects. So as soon as you create scratches or you peel off the paint, then the coating is removed. But if you take care of it, and it's a very sturdy paint, it's baked in, then it'll be completely fine to wipe it off with any disinfectant you have. It'll not harm the coating whatsoever.
How often do you change the filter? It's a good question. We suggest you change the filter every 6 months. The app and also the device have a counter in it, and it's a smart counter, so it's not physically counting days that the filter is being used. It's accumulating the duration and the fan speed of the device and the air quality all together, and it's compounding the filter life that the unit still, or the filter still has. And you can always draw that up on your app or the display will tell you when to change it.
All right, so what kind of disinfectants can we use for the part close to the patient? And there, it's whatever disinfectants you've used before with parts that come close to the patient. The materials you see are sturdy, so the device also has a UV coat, which is you can use any kind of disinfectant. It will not attack the device. There will be no discoloring, etc. Again, on the hood, it's transparent. It's a PC, so please don't use anything that scratches. But also the hood is replaceable, very simple, with 2 screws. So in case something does scratch, it's a very simple fix.
In the closed operatory, how long will it take for the total air to be circulated through? Yes, so we've calculated a normal room size of 250 square feet on 8-foot ceilings, that this device will take will actually be able to do 9 air cycles per hour. And what I think is important to understand, that this means actually that you can clean your air within just 6 minutes. And that's actually quite fast. That is even shorter than the 15 minutes prescribed by some of the regulatory institutions. and it will help you really reduce the overall infection load in the ear. How much are replacement filters? Yes, $299.
All right, is the shield UVC rated? No, there is no UVC shield in this. It's a PC plastic, which does not filter out UVC rays. But that is something we can look into in the future to have replaceable UVC shields to come.
At which speed do we need to put the equipment?
So when cleaning, we usually recommend to put it at least at speed 5 or 6 to create a distance where the suction function works. But as mentioned before, this speed will be drowned out by the typical equipment used in dental settings, and it's a very, I would say, pleasant frequency of noise. So it's no high pitch, it's a very nice humming, rushing noise that you would be comparable to an aircon running on high speed. So it's nothing that really bothers you or drains you over time. And then the last question, can we use hypercolor? I don't know it, I have to admit.
Yes, so are the casters attached to the black base? Yes, they are. So basically, as you can see, we have 4 casters. Each one has a stopper, and basically, on this base, it will be delivered already assembled with those parts. All you have to do is mount this arm on top of this base. It's just 4 screws, very easy to set up.
Yeah. So, and that goes right into the next question. What is the packet size? So the unit comes separated. You will get one package that is basically the unit sitting on the black base, like Pierre said, with the casters installed, and this base arm, it's a metal arm. And then the flexible part is coming in a separate box. So you need a Phillips head screwdriver and easily screw in the suction arm. The size, the dimensions we can post later, and they'll be posted on the webpage as well.
Is there printable data that says air exchange is about 6 minutes to show our hygienists? Yes.
Yes.
We have the tables with the air changes per hour, tables with the overall airflow, clean air delivery rate, and not just the airflow itself.
All right, can the shield stand up to UVC is something I have to double check. And if it can be used in a standard UVC disinfectant setting, this is something we can double check, but we're already working on glass solutions which would withstand this.
The nice thing is actually this hood here can be detached pretty easily. So we are bringing onto the market different options, different sizes over the course of the coming months.
Can we buy only the arm system? So only purchasing the arm will not be possible. But on the other hand, we will be offering a unit that has this special filter that we developed in the shape of the unit back here. So a smaller unit that doesn't have an arm and can be placed, for example, in patient waiting rooms, etc. What I forgot to mention when I was going through the filter is also, it has a layer in between that has a specially impregnated active carbon inside, which is designed to filter gases that are often created in medical situations like mercury gas and chlorine. So this filter is quite special or developed specially for the medical sector, and we will be offering it as a unit with suction arm and a unit without suction arm.
Yes, so the display on this unit here will alarm you when to change the filter. The app also has an alarm in it that will alarm you when to change the filter.
And are there color options? Yes, there are. So the standard model comes in white, and then we will also have it in a gunpowder gray or a silver. And then there's also a peach colored unit, which unfortunately we don't have standing here right now, but it will be displayed on our webpage.
Is the unit top heavy? So if you're referring to this.
No, top heavy in terms of, no. There's no way to flip it over. So it's very, very stable. Especially with the really easygoing casters. If it were to trip on something, the unit does not flip in any way, shape, or form. And with the block casters, it's sturdy enough for you to adjust the arm sitting. We've seen dentists do it. You just adjust the arm sitting close to a patient. It requires no effort at all.
Will the plastic piece close to the patient probe with a disinfectant? As we've tested this hood here, it will not. The overall warranty of this device here, standard is 2 years.
And that also goes for the arm.
So we've actually sent a couple of units to to Swiss dentists, and what we've learned is that they like to actually place it not too far from the face, around between 1 and 2 feet away. The main point, or the main important point for them, was also to have enough flexibility to maneuver around the hood, and to have their helper on the other side also be able to reach the intervention place.
Yeah, and the suction arm has been tested to about 2 feet to create this air pocket that we showed.
So we are shipping the product out of the US, and we're also shipping the product out of Switzerland. These are our 2 main hubs. When you're a customer from Asia, we're shipping out of Hong Kong.
All right, can the arm be cleaned without having to send it in? Yes, if you're confident enough that you have cleaning equipment for this, we have set up a special cleaning SOP with our distributors and partners in the US, Canada, Europe, and Asia that have to follow a certain procedure to be sure that the arm is clean. If you are confident that you can do this yourself, you can do so.
The price of the filter is $299. Does the unit require assembly? Yes. The unit comes basically with all these parts together, and the only assembly that you have to do is attach this arm in here with 4 screws.
Can you switch to? Let me switch to the.
And you'll have a close up. You'll see those are 4 screws here that you have to screw in, and that will allow you to attach this arm, and that's about it.
And the arm is around 5 kilos, so around 10 pounds. 1 second. Sorry for that. Otherwise, we cannot see your questions. We do recommend to leave the unit running when working with a patient. So during an operation or an intervention, like we said before, recommend to set the unit to speed 5 or 6 so that the suction arm can function properly. And then, because this takes out most of the aerosols, you can put it back into auto mode and open the drawer, and you will continuously cycle the air. If you want the quick clean, the 6 minutes we've been talking about, leave it on speed 6, and you will clean the operatory.
I have a small ozone gun. Can I use it to clean inside the arm? So we are generally against ozone. As you know, and then you've seen probably the Environmental Protection Agency has shown, and a lot of studies have shown, that ozone have a very detrimental effect on our lungs, and therefore, in general, we try to avoid any ozone, and that's also why the plasma unit has been tested on the California Air Resource Board testing procedure on ozone. It doesn't create any harmful amounts of ozone. It actually creates minimal amounts of ozone, and that's why we've been using it for Any other case, we kind of suggest you not to use an ozone gun. We would suggest you to put it in a disinfectant bath, and that would help already. Now, do you have some FDA registration or similar? No, we don't have FDA. We have EN 1822 testing, which is essentially the testing on the filter unit that we've shown you. This shows you basically that it removes the sizes of the virus, similar to virus size particles. And the other testing that we have done is we've done testing on the coating. We have ISO testing that is showing the reduction of coronavirus. So specifically to coronavirus, we have test results, ISO test results. And the last testing that we also have is on the plasma unit. We show specific reduction, 99% reduction on the bird flu and also on the swine flu. So we've done extensive testing, but it's not FDA, an FDA certification. The device itself, this main device is UL list.
Yeah. So all the power components, etc., have ETL and UL. They pass these tests. Yes, we can share those, and they'll be listed on our webpage.
Change the suction from the face to the bottom part. Does the unit have to be turned off first? No. The unit itself is quite safe because we've actually put a net in the bottom so you can't reach any turning parts, any of the parts near the fan. You can just draw the drawer, pull the drawer, and that's it. There's no problem with it using it during while it's working.
Okay, 30 questions.
Okay, 30 questions, that's good enough.
If anything else pops up, feel free to email us at hello@aeris.io. And then we'll follow up with you if you have any questions for certificates that you want us to share, for example. We can send them to you via email.
Yes.
Great.
Right, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. Oh, hi, Earl, from Mexico. Okay, one last question.
Okay.
No thanks. All right.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.